Welcome back to the channel. Well, my quest for affordable and reliable mixed reality for home cockpits continues, and I'd like to give you an update. My last two videos, which I'll link above and include in the show notes, featured a new app called PassthroughForge, which finally made mixed reality for home cockpits practical and affordable. My first video was an initial look at PassthroughForge and explained the problems with mixed reality that it solved. The second video looked at my conversion of a 50-inch television to a touchscreen for use with my attempt to use Air Manager in a flat panel screen to incorporate into mixed reality to provide an affordable and flexible cockpit. Well, I'm happy to tell you that I have positive news on all fronts. First, PassthroughForge continues to exceed my expectations and has provided a very reliable and practical way to implement mixed reality. It was the missing link. The Quest 3 headset is very capable, especially for the price, but the software wasn't there, and now that niche has been filled. Second, my full-scale touchscreen cockpit has continued to receive rave reviews from the real-life pilots I've invited to give it a try. Guys who hated VR when they first tried it because they couldn't see their hands or feet, they felt like they were fumbling in the blind, now loved it. Suddenly, VR seemed natural to them. I know we felt the same way back in 2016 when X-Plane 11 brought multiple monitor support to the simulator. Once again, we could see our hands and our feet, and it felt natural. Well, I think in the coming years, we're going to see that same transition into mixed reality because VR is just too compelling to give up. So stick around in this video and see why I like PassthroughForge, and consider being an early adopter and joining us in the mixed reality world. One of my favorite aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator is the Vision Jet, the Cirrus SF-50. So I couldn't wait to make an Air Manager panel for that. Using GlassOut, which I discussed in my previous videos, I can take the video monitor displays from the simulator and stream them to use them in the Air Manager panel. Here you see the Garmin 3000 and the GTC 580 touchscreens. And the beautiful thing is that touchscreens actually work, so it operates just like the real cockpit. Also have gear handle and all the other inputs, controls, flaps, and so on. So you can really fly this thing with your hands just like in the real airplane. It is slightly different. When you grab a knob, you touch it with your finger, it turns yellow, and then you can use the Knobster, which is the small knob. It's kind of hard to see, but it's mounted down by the throttle, and you can grab that knob. It's a dual concentric knob, and you can make the inputs for whatever knob that has been selected. So basically with one knob you can run the whole cockpit. One of the cool things about editing masks is that you can edit them in real time. So we're looking at an opening that represents that blue item that's been drawn in the program. And we have tools to add and subtract. You can see I've drawn a polygon and I can adjust that, and you see in real time the mask is being adjusted, and I'm looking at the Air Manager panel behind it, and I can readjust that. And I'm not doing it here, but you can select those points and create Bezier curves so that you have handles to round them, and you can actually draw a very, very nice bitmap there. And that's basically what you're doing, is drawing a bitmap shape using the polygon tools, add, subtract, and some of the other tools that are available. So it really is a cool way to edit the mask in real time and see the results while you're doing it. Much easier than having to draw it in a graphics program and bring it in, although that is available. But this is the way I've kind of grown to enjoy doing it, because I can see the actual panel I'm trying to create the mask for. And if it was a physical cockpit, you would see the physical cockpit and do the same thing. I love flying in the desert. Here we are taking off in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The most useful feature with PassthroughForge is that you can lock your masks to a controller. Here I've mounted my left controller using a magnetic mount I found. So the cutout in virtual reality will be aligned perfectly every time with the actual cockpit hardware. Whoops, the trim's not set. There we go. Positive rate, gear up. Flaps up. As you can see with the previous video, this works just great with both Microsoft Flight Simulator and X-Plane. However, you can't beat the scenery in Microsoft Flight Simulator in mixed reality. We'll continue on around left here to a downwind. I was anxious to try my full-size touch mixed reality cockpit concept with the Vision Jet because Real SimGear offers a package for mixed reality in their Vision Jet simulator. The simulator itself costs almost $43,000 and another $3,500 for the Vision Pro from Apple. The total over $46,000. On the other hand, if you're given to do it yourself, you could put this thing together for about $4,500, including the purchase of a computer capable of running this. I'm using a 3-year-old computer with a RTX 4080. Obviously, if you're a cockpit builder, you can certainly use your cockpit with mixed reality. If you want total immersion, though, it needs to be very accurately scaled to the real cockpit so that when you try to superimpose it in a window, a pass-through window or opening into the virtual world, that it fits well. One of the advantages that I have is that I can resize the cockpit on my TV to make the monitors fit correctly. I will say, however, that for ease of use, it definitely would be better to be using a actual cockpit, and you would only have to set it up once, and once it's set up, it would be fine. I have to do a different setup for each cockpit aircraft, but I do like the idea that I can fly multiple airplanes and not be restricted to a single one. Here you can see I touch the knob on the thing and then grab it turns yellow, and then I grab the knob, and you can see me resizing the MFD. Okay, we're on a downwind here. We're going to be landing on the runway we took off, gear down. We'll swing it around for a landing. Flaps coming down to 1. And final flaps. The gear 3 green, flaps full. Set the bugs for landing. Really should do a checklist, and I wouldn't get the trim warning on takeoff too. That's not the purpose of this video. It's not flight training, obviously. Just want to show you what we can do and how it works. think it's pretty impressive that we can get such realism. And as you know, like anything VR, you really can't sense it when you're looking at it on a 2D screen. But I can tell you that it really does feel realistic, and I really like being able to access my hands and to touch the things that I need to manipulate. And obviously no need for a mouse or keyboard once we're flying. No VASI on this runway, so we'll just eyeball it. Next exit, so we won't need much brakes. Thumbs up. And we're clear of the runway. I want to show you one more thing before we're done here. So I want to show you the cockpit I made for the Diamond DA62 light twin. Again, using the G1000s, and this is in X-Plane, just to show you that this works very well in both simulators, Microsoft Flight Simulator and X-Plane. I haven't been using Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 yet. I need to purchase it again. I had it under Game Pass and I let that expire. So I need to buy that and give it a try, but I'm anxious to see how that works. There's some panels by a company called AVNX that are available through Sim Innovations now. Beautifully modeled panels, and I'd like to try to convert some of those to some 4K panels to be used with the simulator. So stay tuned on my channel. You may see some of that in the future. You can see this one was a little tricky because of the little hump there over the lighting switches. But one thing you have to consider is that if you're going to film it, whether you look through your left eye or right eye, you can only film through one or the other. And you can see that when you move your head radically, it does tend to drift out of the area, especially something that's very small, like that little tunnel that leads to those lighting switches. But all in all, I got to say that PassthroughForge is a total game changer for VR mixed reality for me. I had pretty much given up on it when I was using OpenKnee. It just took too much time to get set up. And now I sit down in the simulator, allow the controller to get going, the one that's mounted above my panel. I just hit the key combination, short key combination, and it suddenly snaps right to position around the panel. And then it's a matter of just moving the panel, or moving the simulator panel ever so little to make it match up. And you can do that by just resetting your view and moving your head slightly, and you can get it lined up perfectly. And as long as you put the tape over the proximity sensor in the headset, as I mentioned in my previous video. It stays locked solid. You can hand it to someone else. The only thing that has to be adjusted is if their head is higher or lower, closer or further apart. You might have to make a slight adjustment to the simulator to get things lined up perfectly, and after that they're good to go. So it's a great way to introduce people to VR, and you put them in there where they can see their hands and their feet. They don't have near as much trouble trying to accommodate VR flying. Well, it's been my pleasure to have you aboard for this little short video today. Wanted to show you the progress I've made, and I wanted to encourage you to give mixed reality a chance. It's not too expensive, and the Quest 3 headset is nice, and there's lots of really good headsets coming along. Just a matter of time. 10 years since the Oculus CV 1, the first headset that I owned, and look how far we've come. So in the next 10 years, it's exciting, and when that better hardware becomes cheaper, this is going to be even better. But I'll tell you, I have absolutely no trouble using the navigation instruments using my Quest 3. Thanks for watching. Hope we'll see you again on my next video. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I love your comments. Thanks for watching.